Cleveland Clinic Radio Network.
Welcome back. It's the Bet365 Guardians warm-up show from downtown Cleveland here at Progressive Field. Time now for the pitching matchup. Dean Kramer, the right-hander, going for the Orioles. Just his second start of the season as he began the year in the minor leagues. The Major League veteran started against Arizona on Monday, a no decision. 5 strong innings, though, allowed just 2 runs. 5 starts in his career against Cleveland, 1-3 with an ERA of 5.40. He'll be opposed by right-hander Gavin Williams, 2-1 after 4 starts, a solid earned run average of 2.38, and his pitching coach Carl Willis says some of the changes in repertoire have helped Williams early this season.
Since he added the 2-seamer last year and brought the cutter back, we're seeing 3 hard pitches, 3 variations of a fastball that really give hitters fits, and he's executed his sweeper tremendously. Gavin would tell you the same thing right now. It's eliminating walks. He's creating some higher stress pitches, for himself and for the team, and the guys playing behind him, and if he can, eliminate those walks or cut them down a bit, he's going to get us even deeper into games. But what he did against the Cardinals in the first inning, and I think he did eventually have 1 walk, but they started out the game with 3 consecutive base hits. He threw 36 pitches. I think at this time last year, that version of Gavin, he may give us 3 innings. So it speaks about his ability to compete, but it also speaks about his stuff and his ability to change the game plan when necessary once we get a read of how the team that we're playing against is trying to approach us that night. He has the weapons to combat that, and that's pretty good.
2 starts in his career against the Orioles. They've been a tough go for Williams. He's lost them both, allowing 11 runs in 10 2/3 innings. That's your pitching matchup. That'll do it for Guardians warm-up. Stay tuned. Starting lineups and the first pitch. They come your way next.
The Guardians warm-up show has been brought to you by Cleveland Clinic. When defying the odds is your aim, the right care can change everything. By Progressive. For a job you'll love, visit progressive.com/careers. By Bet365, where winning is everything.
copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the Cleveland Guardians Baseball Company and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without expressed written consent of the Cleveland Guardians.
on rewards.com for details.
And here we go again.
We're going young. This is a young team.
We're not that inexperienced anymore.
A team that cares about small things.
That's Guards ball.
It's a winning recipe.
This group is tough.
The grit, the determination.
And we're going to see how far we can go.
The ultimate goal is to win the World Series. We just got to get better day in and day out.
Find a way to win every day.
Being smart and aggressive at the same time wins ball games.
Hoping for another great summer in Cleveland.
Enjoy the game, folks. Cleveland Guardians Baseball is brought to you by Cleveland Clinic. When defying the odds is your aim, the right care can change everything. By Progressive. For a job you'll love, visit progressive.com/careers. By Dollar Bank, proud banking partner of the Cleveland Guardians. By Marathon. Join Marathon Rewards today and start earning on every fill-up.
Good evening once again, everyone. Welcome back to Progressive Field, downtown Cleveland. It's the Guardians and the Orioles, Game 3 of this 4-game series. Time now for the starting lineups. First for Craig Albernaz and the Baltimore Orioles, leading things off, Gunnar Henderson, the shortstop. Taylor Ward in left field bats second. Pete Alonso, the first baseman, will bat third. And Dylan Beavers is the cleanup hitter in right field. Colton Cowser, the DH, bats fifth. Leody Tavares in center field hits sixth. Samuel Basayo is doing the catching, batting seventh. Kobe Mayo at third base bats eighth. And Jeremiah Jackson is the second baseman, hitting ninth. On the mound, it's right-hander Dean Kramer. Now on the other side for the Guardians, leading things off for Stephen Vogt is Stephen Kwan in center field. Chase DeLauder, the right fielder, bats second. Jose Ramirez at third base bats third, with Kyle Manzardo, the first baseman, batting cleanup. George Valera in left field hits fifth. Reese Hoskins, the designated hitter, bats sixth. Daniel Schneemann at second base bats seventh. Bo Naylor will do the catching and hit eighth. And Brian Rocchio at shortstop bats ninth, with Gavin Williams on the mound. Those are our starting lineups. Now stay tuned. When we return, Tom Hamilton has tonight's first pitch on the Cleveland Clinic Radio Network.
From Progressive Field in downtown Cleveland, Ohio, it is game number 22. Tonight, the Cleveland Guardians and the Baltimore Orioles play in Game 2 of this weekend 4-game series. Hi again, everybody. This is Tom Hamilton along with Jim Rosenhaus and Brian Motze on, let's face it, a miserable Saturday night here on the shores of Lake Erie. But what a day this could be in Cleveland. The Cleveland Cavaliers thumped the Toronto Raptors. I wanted to call them the Maple Leafs, but maybe today they played like the Maple Leafs. But the Cavaliers win Game 1 of their best-of-7 first-round playoff series. So congratulations to the Cleveland Cavaliers. By the way, when Cleveland is in Toronto next weekend, the Cavaliers and the Raptors will be in Toronto continuing that series. Nonetheless, it's a day in which we've got folks going from the arena to the ballpark, separated by the plaza, and unfortunately it's not as nice as it was earlier today. This cold front that they told us was moving in, yeah, they weren't lying. It's moving in. Now, the good news is right now the breeze is blowing out toward right field, but it is overcast. We've had light rain falling. Just not a real pleasant night, but we are starting this game on time. Cleveland, after last night's gut punch, a record of 11-10, entered play today in second place in the AL Central, a half game out. Meanwhile, Baltimore 10-10, entered today in third place in the AL East, a game and a half out of first. Mark Wagner's the crew chief and the home plate umpire. It'll be Bruce Streckman at first, Carlos Torres at second, Nate Tomlinson the third base ump. 325 down the lines, 370 to left center, 375 to right center, 400 to dead center, the 19-foot wall from the left field corner to center, then the wall from center to the right field corner is 9 feet high. Gavin Williams takes the baseball tonight for the Cleveland Guardians. He's becoming one of the most dominant pitchers in the American League. He'll be backed defensively by George Valera in left, Stephen Kwan in center, Chase DeLauder in right, Kyle Manzardo at first. Gavin Williams will find Daniel Schneemann behind him at second tonight. Brian Rocchio at short, Jose Ramirez at third, and Bo Naylor doing the catching. Gavin Williams, he stands 6'6". He weighs 250 pounds, now 26 years of age. 3 types of fastballs, a 4-seamer, 2-seamer, and a cutter, along with the curveball and the slider. The curveball really acts as his off-speed pitch. He doesn't throw his changeup anymore. He really doesn't need to because of that good off-speed curveball. Gavin Williams has faced Baltimore twice prior to tonight, and it did not go well. He lost both those ball games against the Orioles, and in those 2 ball games, ERA of 9.28. But he hasn't faced them since last April, and Gavin Williams has been a different pitcher since July of last summer. Digging in, the shortstop Gunnar Henderson leading it off. He'll be one of 5 left-handed bats in the lineup. Williams, the wind, and tonight's first pitch, and it's in there, a strike, and we're underway at the corner of Carnegie and Ontario. 53 degrees, the game time temp. Williams' next offering, waved at, and that's a good-looking slider, and the count quickly 0-2. Gunnar Henderson has been held in check so far, but this kid is so good that he is capable of busting out at any moment. 0 for 8 in the series thus far. Henderson, left-handed hitting shortstop, the 0-2 pitch, and he checked his swing. He went around, though, says third base ump Nate Tomlinson, and a 3-pitch strikeout for Gavin Williams to start tonight's ball game. Gavin Williams comes in tonight with a record of 2-1 and an outstanding earned run average of .238.
Righty-righty matchup. Here's Taylor Ward. The pitch to him. And it's down and away, ball one. Taylor Ward batting .291, but still hasn't gone deep. He's knocked in 8. Now the kick in the 1-0. And it's fouled back and out of play. 1-1 the count. Gavin Williams, in the 4 starts, has a batting average against him of 137. 4th best in baseball. The pitch driven to deep right center field. This will get down. It'll take one bounce, go up against the wall in the right center gap, and in with another double is Taylor Ward. He may not have any home runs, but he leads the American League with 11 doubles. So he found the gap in right center, and that'll bring up Pete Alonso, batting .216, couple of homers, 8 RBIs. Gavin Williams, you break down his numbers, he's averaging 6 innings per start. The right-hander checks the runner at second. Now the pitch, and it's in there, called strike on a slider. Williams averaging 12 strikeouts per 9 innings, but he's also walking 6 per 9. But he's only giving up 4 hits per 9 innings. That's incredible. Now the 0-1. Waved at. He chased another slider in the other batter's box. 0-2 the count on Pete Alonso. Runner at second, 1 down. Baltimore batting, first inning, no score. On a drizzly, chilly night here on the shores of Lake Erie. Now the 0-2 pitch. After 3 looks to second, it's delivered a little bit low. No challenge by Cleveland. Boy, there are a lot of pitches last night that were not challenged that you wondered about. Pete Alonso now with a 1-2 count. Here it comes. Swing and a miss on a curveball. How about that curveball, folks? You want a number that'll jump out at you? Pete Alonso striking out on that curveball. Batters now against Gavin Williams' curveball this year, 1 hit, 17 at bats. 1 for 17. Here's Dylan Beavers, left-handed hitter. He's in right field, and he takes a little outside a curveball. Well, I mean, they're not hitting any of Gavin Williams' pitches against his 3 fastballs, 4-seamer, 2-seamer cutter. Opposition batting 149. Now the 1-0 pitch. And he went curveball in there, a called strike. I mean, folks, you'll see a lot of pitchers have maybe a couple of pitches that nobody is hitting, but then batters are doing damage against maybe 2 or 3 of the other pitches. They're not hitting any of his pitches. The next pitch tried to check, went around on a slider down and in, and right now he has got so much late break on that slider. He's not throwing it for strikes, but Baltimore can't avoid chasing it. Runner at second, 2 down, no score, first inning. Beavers batting .239, a homer, 5 RBIs for the former Cal Berkeley Bear. Now the 1-2 delivery, checked on a curve in the dirt, 2-2, and boy, they have gone to a steady diet of curves and sliders against the Baltimore lineup that is 7th in the league in runs scored, a little over 4 runs a game, 7th in the league in homers, 6th in the league in OPS. Williams a look at first, another look back. The pitch. Got him swinging on the heater at 98 miles an hour. Williams strikes out the side. Orioles fail to score. Guardians coming to bat.
Camps.
Stephen Kwan is going to lead off for Cleveland, and they'll get a look at the right-hander Dean Kramer tonight. No score as we go to the bottom of the first. Kwan batting .253, a homer, 7 RBIs. Kramer's pitch, and it's in there, a called strike. Dean Kramer, 30 years of age, 6'2", 210. He'll feature the fastball, the sinker, the cutter, curve, slider, split. The pitch, and it dips down low, and the count 1-1. Kramer isn't a hard thrower per se, low 90s. He'll face 8 left-handed hitters. The 1-1. Kwan waved at it. That was good split there. That's really more of a changeup than anything else. Amazing how these guys, some guys throw splitters 90 miles an hour. That one was 82 miles an hour. More like a fork ball or a changeup. Now the 1-2 pitch. High, ball 2, 2-2. Dean Kramer's only making a second start. He didn't make the club out of spring training. He had options left. They had 6 starters. He was the odd man out. Now the 2-2. And he swings and lines it foul down the right side. So he didn't come up and make his first start until April 13th. Against Arizona, went 5 innings, gave up 2 earned runs on 6 hits, struck out 9, didn't walk anybody, but he gave up 3 home runs. Dean Kramer, the pitch. And it's ripped foul down the left side, still 2-2. And as they always say, when you think you have enough starting pitching, go get more. He doesn't make the club out of spring. And after 1 start, Zach Eflin's lost for the season. Thus, Dean Kramer back in Baltimore. The 2-2 swung on, a little lazy fly into center. Leody Taveras retires Stephen Kwan. Taylor Ward in left, Taveras in center, Dylan Beavers in right. Pete Alonso at first, Jeremiah Jackson at second, Gunnar Henderson at short, Kobe Mayo at third, and Samuel Basayo, the catcher. Here's the pride of West Virginia, in case you didn't know, Chase DeLauder. 246 mark, 5 homers, 5 doubles, 12 ribbies. He fouls one upstairs, strike 1. DeLauder now has banged out 10 extra base hits. That's 4th in the American League. But he's been scuffling 1 hit in his last 15 at-bats. The pitch, and it missed downstairs. Orioles challenge. Wow, that's a quick challenge. In the first inning? Well, let's see. And it's a ball. That's not when you should be challenging. 1 out, first inning, nobody on base. And now the count 1-1, and you're down to 1 challenge for 8.5 innings. Oh, well. Here's the windup. Here's the 1-1 to Chase DeLauder. Nope. Instead, Kramer steps off. That's a pitch clock violation. Oh, doctor. Oh, it's all coming apart. ABS backfires. Pitch clock violation.
All the new stuff.
2 balls and a strike. Now the 2-1 delivery. Swung on, hammered. Deep right center field. Racing over, jumping on the track to make a running catch is Beavers. That right fielder, Dylan Beavers, has some of the best sprint speed in baseball, and boy, he needed that. That was a laser off the bat of the right fielder, DeLauder, and racing to the gap in right center. He made a leap on the run and took extra bases away from Chase DeLauder. 2 down. Jose Ramirez takes inside, ball 1. Nobody on, 2 down, no score, first inning. Jose Ramirez, .344 batting mark over the last 9 games. The pitch. Hammered high, deep to right, down the line, foul. Alyssa Baltis of Rocky River trying to win the 4 Bridgestone tires thanks to our friends at Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. Visit econrads.com to enter. Good luck tonight to Alyssa Baltis of Rocky River. The next pitch, banged foul outside of first. 1-2 the count on Ramirez. So the first 4 innings tonight, it's the Conrad score 4 win for new tires. Jose Ramirez now leads the league in steals, a perfect 9 for 9. 2 down, first inning, no score. Here's the windup by Dean Kramer. The 1-2. Checked on a pitch low, 2-2. Dean Kramer's faced Cleveland 5 times in his career. 1 win, 3 losses, a career .540 ERA. Kramer from the first base side of the rubber delivers, and it's fouled back. 95 miles an hour. A little more giddy up on that than normal. Dean Kramer's coming off a season in which he led Baltimore in innings pitched, 171. Went 11-10, .419 ERA. The pitch dips low, splitter. Full count. 13-game winner in 2023, an 11-game winner in 2025. Dean Kramer in start number 2 in 2026. No score. Here's the payoff. Down low, he walked him. Another great at bat. Hosey walked 4 times the other night. Last night, in fact. He looks right now about as locked in as I guess we expect him to always be.
And you love the fact that he's not expanding, not chasing, waiting for his pitch, and if he has to take the walk, he takes it.
Kyle Manzardo trying to knock him in. The pitch. And he looks at a curveball strike on the outside corner. Well, the key is Manzardo is starting to hit now, so Hosey's got protection. Manzardo, 7-game hit streak, batting .360 in those 7 games. The 1-strike delivery, and before it's made, a throw to first. Back with a dive, Jose Ramirez. The electrified Toyota Tundra Hybrid, designed, engineered, and built in the U.S. For all Toyota offers, go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. Now the 0-1. There he goes. Pitches outside and high. Throw to second in the dirt. Tagged by Henderson, and the head first sliding Ramirez. Not in time. Not a good throw. And Hosey now leads the league with 10 steals, yet to be caught. Basayo's throw bounced into second about maybe 6 or 7 feet to the first base side of the bag. And Jose Ramirez, with a good throw, is probably out. Now he's in scoring position with 2 down and a scoreless first. A 1-1 count on Manzardo. The pitch, and he cuts and misses. 1-2. Adley Rushman will be catching most of the time when he comes back from his ankle injury, and it should be maybe in a week. Basayo will catch and DH. Now the 1-2. Got him swinging. Good splitter. So Kramer strikes out Manzardo. Cleveland, Baltimore. No score after 1 on the Cleveland Clinic radio. Colton Cowser DHing tonight after he ran into the wall in right field last night. Batting 195, 3 RBIs, left-handed batter. Gavin Williams gets it in there, a strike. No score, second inning. Williams lets it fly. The pitch, he threw it right by him. 0-2. My goodness. Well, Gavin Williams, he was a first-round pick for a reason. And I have a lot of clubs right now asking their scouting director, hey, back in 2021, why were we one of 22 teams that bypassed this guy? The pitch. Down low. Do you mind telling me before you pack your stuff and leave? How did he slip? No, I know how he slipped. He had some back issues, some injury concerns, but to 23rd in the first round? Wow. What a gift. What a great job of scouting by Cleveland. That pitch a little bit outside, 2-2.
It's how you mentioned the walk numbers earlier, and Carl Willis was saying that they'd love to have him cut that down a little bit, get him deeper in the games.
He kicks, he fires. Beauty of a curveball, strike 3 called, and Cowser is the 4th bird that has struck out.
Carl was saying that the flip side to that, nobody's digging in against him. He's just wild enough. But again, you'd like to cut the walks down if you can.
Here's Leody Taveras batting .371 in his first year in Baltimore. 8 RBI, switch hitter, batting left-handed. And he takes it's in there, called strike. Boy, his curveball right now is just so devastating. That's why he doesn't need a changeup. The 0-1. Fastball missed maybe by an inch inside. 1-1 the count. Gavin Williams from the third base side of the rubber. Here it comes. Fastball straightens him up. 2-1. Marathon knows you fans are the true co-pilot of any team. Marathon here to keep you and your team fueled all season long. Marathon, driven together. Now the pitch. Down and in. Boy, he's not missing by much, and he's really working in with the fastball to Taveras. But now the count 3-1. No score, second frame. The wind, the pitch. Check swing. He went around, didn't he? No! Third base up. Nate Tomlinson said he did not. That's the first walk of the evening by Gavin Williams. That'll bring up Samuel Basayo. Got to look at the replay. Good call by the third base ump, Nate Tomlinson. He did check his swing. Basayo, left-handed hitting catcher, really struggling. Batting $148. Throw to first. Back with the dive is Taveras. Basayo out of the Dominican Republic, 6'4", 180. The pitch. And he looks and takes a strike, 97 miles per hour on the outer edge. If Basayo is 180 pounds, I want that scale. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Swing and a foul off his foot. He is a big, strong man. You know what's interesting, Rosie? Adley Rutschman was the first pick in the draft. But this year, next year, are it for Rutschman, and then he's a free agent. They've given a boatload of money to Basayo, and makes you wonder if they'll look to trade Rutschman this offseason.
Which a couple of years back you would have never thought possible.
No. Now the 0-2 delivery. Swung on, hit a ton to left. Back is Kwan. Back near the track, makes the catch. Boy, the ball's just dying in this heavy, cold air. 2 down. Manager Stephen Vogt was saying there is such a dearth of good starting catching in all of Major League Baseball that he said, if Baltimore doesn't give Rushman money, somebody will, because he is still a really good all-around catcher, and he can do what a lot of catchers can't do, and that is he can hit. Here's Kobe Mayo, third baseman. No score, runner on, 2 down in the second. You think, how many catchers are good behind the plate and hit? I mean, we know Cal Raleigh.
Will Smith from the Dodgers.
Will Smith.
But you're right.
The
After
kid,
that,
Drake Baldwin, is becoming that.
It tails off quick, though.
Doesn't it? The runner fakes going. The pitch swung on, banged to third. Ramirez gloves, guns, and he got Mayo. And so another good inning for Gavin Williams. So we go to the bottom of the second inning, scoreless here on the shores of Lake Erie.
Network.
No score in this ball game as we mosey on to the bottom half of inning number 2. George Valera in left field leads it off. Dean Kramer's pitch swung on line to second, and reaching up to snag it is Jackson. Valera's hitting .364, swinging the bat pretty darn well. Here's Rhys Hoskins, the only right-handed bat in the lineup. He's DHing tonight, batting .213. He's got a homer, 5 RBIs. Well, Rosie. Here's the wind by Kramer. In their strike. The New York Mets have lost 10 in a row. How do you think the back pages of the New York Post will handle that tomorrow?
They live for this stuff.
Mets are 7-14.
Wow.
They were 7-4. The 0-1. Breaking ball outside, and the count 1-1. And David Stearns may have given Carlos Mendoza the proverbial kiss of death when he said, "I'm standing behind him." The 1-1. Maybe low. 2-1.
And there are a lot of career New York Mets who are with different clubs this year because they wanted to shake it up.
Yeah.
I wonder what their reactions are.
Oh, you just had to get your Taylor Swift favorite song in there, didn't you? The 2-1. Fouled out of play, 2-2.
They shook it up in the offseason to try and change the.
All right.
What other one should we do?
Taylor and Travis Kelce, if you're listening, Rosie wants an invite to the wedding.
I was just thinking she might be in town.
The 2-2 got him swinging. Boy, he's going to that split a lot. Kramer strikes out Hoskins, second strikeout. 2 down, second inning. No score. Rosie doesn't care if you shake it up or shake it off. He's a Taylor Swiftie. He's a stalker. Here's Daniel Schneemann.
Not true.
Grand slam last night. The kick in the pitch. And he shows bunt, takes the strike. I mean, your son now is touring the country with a rock band. Do you want people stalking him like you're stalking Taylor?
No. That's a good point.
The 0-1. Backdoored him and missed 1-1. All right, tell us about Nate and the band. Where are they tonight?
They're in Sacramento, a sold-out show in Sacramento. Their first sellout on the tour.
2 down, no score, second inning, the 1-1. Inside and low, 2-1.
They were in L.A. last night. Got back in the RV and up the road to Sacramento tonight. But it's been going well. They're having fun and selling out venues.
And Clark Griswold driving the RV. The pitch swung on and missed. 2-2 the count. They're gone for a month, right?
These venues are under 1,000, so it's not like they're selling out stadiums.
But that's still a lot of folks.
It is. It's very much so. And yes, they're gone for about a month.
When do they next perform here and where? As the right-hander, Dean Kramer's 2-2, fouled at the plate.
Closest on this tour would be Pittsburgh or Detroit. They're not coming to Cleveland.
Oh, and the name of the group again?
Midwinter.
Midwinter. You can find them
on Instagram
or Spotify. I don't know.
Instagram, Spotify. Right. Wear your earplugs for sure.
So it's, well, Schneemann's going to be looked at. He's limping after that foul ball. So you're not saying that we're going to hear any of Herbie's favorite Frank Sinatra tunes?
Not unless they cover it as metal. Which I think some groups would maybe give that a shot, and who knows, maybe they will someday.
That's pretty cool.
It is fun. And it's their first time out, and they're with a band from Germany called Unprocessed, which apparently is really popular, and that's what's driving the attendance, but they have really enjoyed it so far.
That's awesome. Congrats.
Thank you.
Good stories will come from Nathan when mom and dad aren't around.
Yes. And I know, I checked in with Willie downstairs. He said he's holding his job for him for when they get back off tour, so he'll be able to go back to the visiting clubhouse.
MTV has got a special behind the music coming up on Midwinter.
Yeah, they're a week in. Give them 2 weeks, and they'll probably have some good plot lines.
I always think of that movie with Kate Hudson and Almost Famous. Good movie. All right, Schneemann's ready to get back at it. 2 down, no score. The pitch. Outside and high, full count. Daniel Schneemann with a grand slam last night. He is 10 for 20, hitting safely in the last 6 games. Outfield playing in medium deep and toward left. Now the payoff. Got him swinging. So Kramer looks sharp here in the early going. 3rd inning next. Cleveland and Baltimore. Scoreless on the Cleveland Clinic Radio Network. Last night's hero at the game-winning 3-run homer, Jeremiah Jackson leads off the Baltimore third. No score. Gavin Williams' pitch inside a ball. Boy, this kid's taking advantage of Jordan Westberg and Jackson Holiday being hurt. Adding .317, 5 homers, team high 17 RBIs. And Gavin Williams with a curveball strike, 1-1. Hey, whenever the Guardians win, your Northeast Ohio Ford dealers donate $500 to Cleveland Guardians charities. The 1-1. Fouled at the plate, 1-2. And that helps support expanded access to youth sports here in Cleveland. Gavin Williams has struck out 4, walked 1. 29 pitches through 2 innings. Here in the third, the 1-2. Swing and a fly ball, not going anywhere tonight. Fairly deep right, but routine for DeLauder, 1 down. There is a bit of a breeze blowing out toward right, but it feels much colder than 53 degrees. It's damp, it's raw, and the ball will not carry. Gunnar Henderson, the batter. That doesn't mean you can't hit one out, but you better really tee off. Henderson struck out his first time up. Left-handed hitting shortstop. He takes down at the knees a strike. Boy, Gavin Williams just dominating again here tonight and throwing strikes. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a foul down the left side. 0-2. Gavin Williams went the 7 shutout innings against the Dodgers when he gave up 2 hits, struck out 10. The pitch. Fouled at the plate. The count 0-2. Well, Travis Bazzana stays hot. Got his first home run for Columbus. Went Apple. Well, I tell you, I had a chance to visit tonight, Rosie, with here's the wind in the 0-2. Down low, 1-2. With President Chris Antonetti and General Manager Mike Chernoff. And I mean, their eyes light up when they talk about all the kids down below that are off to great starts in the farm system. The 1-2 is fouled at the plate. And we're not just talking about Travis Bazzana, but you know, the way Khalil Watson is playing now. And I don't want to start mentioning names because pretty soon you're forgetting people and whatnot. Now the wind and the 1-2. Swing and a ground ball single between first and second into right field. Gunnar Henderson has the Birds' second hit. The bottom line is, as Chris and Cherney were saying, it's not that they've got just guys knocking on the door at Columbus to get to Cleveland, but they're coming now at all 3 levels, and that is when an organization has a chance to have a really long run of success. Here's Taylor Ward, double to right center, his first time up. The pitch. Outside a ball. I mean, it's worth going to Lake County this year to see that draft class from last summer.
It's amazing, isn't it, that they're there already? Usually you figure there's maybe some time out in Arizona, then at least a stop in Lynchburg, but boy, they're there already.
Now the 1-0 pitch to Taylor Ward, and it's in there. Henderson a threat to run. 1-1 the count on Ward. Yeah, it's exciting to think about what is coming. There is pitching coming as well, folks. Boy, they've got a couple of high school kids coming from that draft of 2 years ago. Now they're further away, but they're 2 of the top youngsters in the game. Toss to first. Henderson, did he get picked off? Oh my, he just eluded the tag, going into the backside of the bag with a head-first dive. Oh, what a move by Gavin Williams. He had Henderson leaning the other way and nearly picked him off.
For a big man, he has a really quick move to first.
And Gunnar Henderson, for a big man, is really quick himself. Now the 1-1 delivery. Swung on a chopper wide of third. Ramirez gloves to second. He threw it high and into right field. Goes into foul ground off the side wall. Orioles will be at second and third on the potential inning-ending double play that becomes a fielder's choice on a throwing error on Jose Ramirez, as he just airmailed that throw to second. So Henderson to third, Taylor Ward's at second, and now Pete Alonso the batter. The inning with a good throw is probably over.
Man, rare to see Jose make a mistake. I don't know if he rushed that a little bit, but it definitely took off on him.
Now the infield in for Pete Alonso. Struck out his first time up. Right-hander, right-hander. The pitch. And it's on the inner half. A called strike on a front door slider. Now it's up to Gavin Williams to see if he can make that throwing error irrelevant. He checks third. He fires, and it's fouled out of play to the right, and he's one strike away from a punch out of the ultra dangerous Pete Alonso, the New York Mets all-time home run leader. He left Queens with 264 career home runs. Now the set. Now the pitch. Down and away, didn't get him to bite at the slider. They count 1-2. Pete Alonso, 5-time All-Star, National League Rookie of the Year. The 1-2 offering, swung on, fouled it off his foot, and the count stays 1-2. How about Pete Alonso's rookie year, 2019? Wins Rookie of the Year. There was no reason to even vote. He had 53 homers and 120 RBIs as a rookie. Infield still in. Now the 1-2. Got him swinging on the curveball. Mammoth strikeout for Williams. Alonso out number 2. Strikeout number 5. And now Dylan Beavers struck out his first time. But here, where if you're Gavin Williams, you just can't have any kind of a letdown. You got the most dangerous man in Pete Alonso, but you still have one more to go. Second and third, 2 down. Infield drops back for the left-handed hitting Beavers. The set, the pitch, and a swing and a weak topper, foul first base side, strike 1. First round pick Dylan Beavers 4 years ago out of Cal Berkeley, now considered the Orioles' second best prospect. No score yet. 2 down, 2 on. The pitch just a little low. Boy, his curveball has been nasty, and he is going to it a lot. Gavin Williams has thrown that curveball tonight 39% of the time. Now the 1-1. Swing and a miss on the slider. Boy, as good as his fastball is tonight, the report must be the Orioles are susceptible to the curveball and slider, because Gavin Williams has used both a lot, and they've both been dynamite. He has thrown the curveball 39% of the time, the slider 31% of the time. Now the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on a slider. He gets out of it with back-to-back strikeouts of Alonso and Beavers. And the error does no damage after a brilliant effort by Gavin Williams. This game stays scoreless here in the middle of inning number 3. Catcher Bo Naylor opens up the bottom of the third. No score. He takes a high fastball from Dean Kramer. Another good one here tonight at the corner of Carnegie and Ontario. And Jennifer Franz of Mount Gilead, our Hyundai Grand Slam contestant. That pitch downstairs, a ball, 2-0. Bo Naylor batting 143 with a couple of RBIs. Now the 2-0 pitch. There's a called strike. So if the Guardians get a grand slam here in the third, Jennifer Franz of Mount Gilead wins a Hyundai Kona, courtesy of your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers. Sign up at HyundaiGrandSlam.com. That pitch is in there. And if Jennifer Franz of Mount Gilead gets the Hyundai Kona, the first thing she's going to do is drive over to Tim Belcher's Ponderosa and show off the new Hyundai. That pitch is low. Full count. Tough day for Tim Belcher and any of those guys that played with Garrett Anderson from the Anaheim Angels. Taken way too soon. Heart attack at age 53. The payoff pitch. Swung on, broken bat, flare to right. Caught by Jackson. Second baseman racing out into shallow right. And because it was a broken bat, that was enough to take the sting out. Garrett Anderson is not a Hall of Famer, but he was probably that very next level. One of the most consistent hitters the game has ever seen. One of the sweetest swings you've ever seen. And a big-time run producer for those really good Angels teams. Ryan Rocchio batting left-handed. Takes outside. They won it all back in 2002. And Garrett Anderson was a key cog in that World Championship team. The 1-0 pitch. In there, a strike. Boy, you think of that team with him and Tim Salmon and Darren Erstad. I mean, you can go on and on.
Those are fun clubs that played the right way.
Didn't they? The pitch outside, played for the great Mike Scioscia, who was such a tremendous Major League manager.
They had some power, but you never wanted to get into a running game with them. They always took the extra base.
Now the kick and the pitch. Outside again. You look at Garrett Anderson's numbers. 17 years in the major leagues, 15 with Anaheim. And again, this is why maybe not Hall of Fame worthy, but darn close when you check the numbers out. 3-1 pitch. Swung on, hit high in the air to deep right. Beavers back. Beavers in front of the track. Rocchio out number 2. Garrett Anderson in 17 major league seasons batted .293, had a .785 OPS, 287 home runs, 1,365 RBIs. He had over 2,500 career hits. I mean, you could make a case for Hall of Fame. Here's Stephen Kwan. He takes at the knees, a strike, 2 outs, nobody on, third inning, no score. I mean, Rosie, again, it was the consistency. 4 straight years where he had 116 RBIs or more. 4 straight years. The 0-1. And it's in there, a strike. He was a guy that had 5 straight years of 21 homers or more. A doubles machine. The 0-2 pitch. Kwan takes, strike 3 called. Garrett Anderson had back-to-back years, 56 and 49 doubles. We go to the 4th. No score. Rest in peace, Garrett Anderson.
Here, Gavin Williams back to work. Another game that is scoreless early. It was scoreless until the 7th last night, and both teams had big innings. Colton Cowser leads it off for Baltimore. Gavin Williams fires away and fires a fastball on the outside corner for strike one. Cowser was caught looking his first time up. One of 6 strikeouts in the first 3 innings for Williams. Here's his pitch. And it's outside for a ball to even the count at 1-1. Williams has allowed 2 hits, has those 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. The 1-1 swing and a miss. Nasty, hard breaking pitch on the inside part of the plate. Cowser swung over it for strike 2. Williams with all the pitches working tonight, but especially the curve and slider. Now the 1-2 delivery. Outside and high, 2-2 on Colton Cowser. The designated hitter tonight made a great catch late in last night's game in the right field corner. Ran into the wall, really seemed to hurt himself, but better tonight. The 2-2. Fastball called, strike 3 on the inside corner. 1 away. Let's pause. 10 seconds. Station ID on the Cleveland Clinic Radio Network. Jim Rosenhaus along with Tom Hamilton back with you at Progressive Field, downtown Cleveland. Scoreless game, 4th inning. Leody Taveras steps in and takes a pitch down low for a ball. Our good buddy Brian Motze up the street at Command Center. On a busy day downtown, the Cavaliers easy winners over the Raptors in game 1 of their series. There's a swing and a high fly ball to deep right. This is hit a ton. Forget it. It is way on out of here. A home run for Leody Taveras. And the scoreless game is done on Taveras' first home run of the season. 1-0 Baltimore. Wow, that was deep into the right field stands. 399 feet the distance. And Baltimore grabs the lead here in the 4th inning. For Williams, that is the 4th home run he's allowed this season. Now Samuel Basayo steps in and he swings and fouls it back for strike 1. Tavares hitting it off speed pitch, breaking ball that stayed out there for him. And he hit it a long way to right. So 1-0 Orioles. Here's the pitch to Basayo. Fastball. Strike called on the inside corner. 0-2 the count. Home plate umpire Mark Wegner was looking into the Orioles dugout. Not exactly sure what's going on. They're still chirping at him, though. He kept looking in there.
Might be Gauser.
2 batters later, the 0-2 swung on, popped up, third base side of the infield. Ramirez under it, makes the catch. 2 down in the inning. And Kobe Mayo steps in. Mayo bounced to third his first time up. You can score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. They have the jerseys, the hats, the hoodies. They'd be good tonight. MLBshop.com/Guardians is where you go. Mayo takes a pitch down low, at the knees for strike 1. 1-0 Baltimore. We're in the top half of the 4th inning. And there's a swing and a ground ball to third. Dug out by Ramirez. Long throw. Big stretch. And a good one by Manzardo. Scoops out on the short hop. And it retires Mayo for the 3rd out in the inning. But the Orioles take the lead on the Tavares home run. We head to the bottom of the 4th. Baltimore 1, the Guardians 0.
Trade on anything.
Chase DeLauder leads things off for the Guardians. Dean Kramer, the batter. And the pitch to him is swung on and missed. And they sing the John Denver song. And they've changed the words in the corner. When DeLauder comes up. And we'll pass that along. Here comes the 0-1. Swung on, ground ball to the shortstop. Up with it is Henderson, who throws out DeLauder at first. The part where they say West Virginia, they say Chase DeLauder hit a homer. Corner bar area, undoubtedly fueled by some adult beverages. But they've rewritten John Denver's lyrics. I don't know if he would approve, but
well, that way you don't have to pay the residual.
Yes, and I'm sure Chase appreciates it. Well, DeLauder is 0 for 2 after a long fly ball to the track his first time up, this time grounding out to short. Here's Jose Ramirez. They serenade him too. Here's the pitch, and it's outside for ball 1. Ramirez walked his first time up, stole another base already with 10. 1-0 Baltimore. Dean Kramer with a good one going. Here's the 1-0. And that's a strike on the outside corner. 1-1. My time you're mentioning earlier, he had to start the season in the minor leagues. Odd man out in the rotation and got back due to the injury. Here's the 1-1. Swung on and fouled off. I mean, this has been a high inning guy. A lot of volume since 2022. And he was not happy about it, but to his credit, just went to work and waited for his opportunity. But oof, that was not an easy conversation, I'm sure, for Craig Albernaz at the end of spring training. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Outside and high, ball 2.
You wonder if players in the next CBA are going to try to change how many options, you can have. Who knows, That's the only reason he went to the minors.
Here's the 2-2. Outside, ball 3. I don't know how you would remedy that.
Yeah. Hey, it's called life.
Yeah.
We've all learned in one way or another in whatever walk of life, it's not always fair. Hang with them.
Now the payoff pitch. Swung on, and there's a slow tapper to the second baseman. Charging hard is Jackson, and he picks it up, flips it underhand in time for the out at first base.
I guarantee you one thing. Baltimore manager Craig Albernaz is looking at all of his young players in the dugout saying, see what that guy just did? Automatic, routine chopper to second, and he busted his tail down the line and made it close. That's why Jose is special.
Kyle Manzardo steps in with 2 down, bases empty. The pitch to him is swung on and lifted high in the air, fairly deep right, but now it dies, and making the catch is Beavers for the 3rd out in the inning. Quick one for Kramer. We head to the 5th. Baltimore 1, the Guardians 0. Second baseman Jeremiah Jackson steps in. What a start to his season. 5 bombs, 17 runs driven in, and he swings and fouls one back out of play. Facing Gavin Williams with the Orioles in front 1-0. Top half of the 5th inning. Jackson fly to right his first time up. And the game-changing home run in the 8th inning last night that helped win it for the Orioles. Here's the 0-1. Swung on, ground ball near short. Diving stop, Rocchio. To his feet. Throws to first in time. Oh, that's a Gold Glove play right there by Brian Rocchio at short. Diving stop to smother it as he was diving towards second base. And then plenty of arm to throw out Jackson. One down. Top of the lineup, Gunnar Henderson steps in. Henderson's 1 for 2 with a single in the 3rd inning. The pitch to him. Outside, ball 1. Time for tonight's Cleveland Clinic Caregivers Shout Out. Big thanks to the caregivers at Euclid Hospital for everything they do to care for patients and families. Here's the 1-0. That catches the inside corner for a strike. 1-1 the count on Henderson. Just 3 hits allowed by Williams. The home run by Tavares last inning, the difference in the game. Here's the 1-1. Swung on, foul back. 1-2 the count. More good heat. Gavin Williams just sitting in the mid-90s at times, much better than that last fastball at 96 miles an hour. Now the big right-hander winds it up again. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Slider got him. 2 down. Strikeout number 8 for Gavin Williams. Season high this year against the Dodgers was 10. Career-wise, 12 strikeouts. He's done that twice. That's his best in a single game. He's tracking that way tonight. Here's Taylor Ward. First pitch to him. Fastball strike on the outside corner. 1-0 Orioles, 5th inning. On a raw night downtown, the 0-1. Outside and low, 1-1. We were at 53 degrees at game time. There's kind of a mist. It's damp. We had rain this afternoon. Here's the 1-1. Down low, 2-1. But we're getting this one in, and it'll be interesting to talk to the players tomorrow to see, is it uncomfortable or just kind of an annoyance? Some of that real light rain that we had at the start. Now the 2-1. Swung on, popped it up foul, first base side, and out of play. 2-2 the count on Taylor Ward. More than 30 homers a year ago at the Angels. A career Angel. Until Baltimore picked him up in a trade this offseason for pitcher Grayson Rodriguez, who hasn't thrown yet for Los Angeles as he's been on the injured list. Now the 2-2 from Gavin Williams. Breaking ball down low. Went with the curve that time. And that runs the count full, 3-2. Ward, right-handed batter, open stance. The payoff from Williams. Swung on, ground ball to short. Gobbled up by Rocchio. Fires on to first in time for the out. Side retired in order by Williams. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Baltimore 1, the Guardians 0.
Trades.com.
Dean Kramer with a beauty going, as the Guardians' only base runner is a Jose Ramirez walk back in the first inning. George Valera, the batter, he had a line drive his first time up. It was caught by the second baseman, Jeremiah Jackson. Valera is challenging the first pitch from Kramer. He didn't think it was a strike, but the ABS system says it was. And boy, that's one. It's not a deciding strikeout or walk pitch with runners on base, and that's where. Here's the 0-1. Swung on, and there's a bouncing ball to the second baseman. Jackson has it and throws him out at first. But I think that's what not only the Guardians, but teams throughout baseball, they're trying to encourage their hitters. Hey, it's got to maybe be a decisive part of the count, and in a spot where you have runners on base, something that would impact it more than the first pitch of an at-bat. Here's Rhys Hoskins. The pitch to him. Breaking ball down low. Orioles manager Craig Almernaz talking about it before the game tonight, that sometimes emotion comes into play on the part of a hitter. That can't be a strike. And they challenge without really thinking about the consequences if they're not right, and when the judicious time would be to challenge. So again, for a lot of teams, it's still very much a work in progress. 2-0 the count on Hoskins. Kramer winds it up, the 2-0 delivery. Down low, ball 3. Kramer has used that splitter to perfection tonight, and he's used it a bunch. 42% of the time he's uncorked that split-fingered pitch that has really confounded Cleveland hitters. 3-0 count here to Hoskins. The pitch to him. Fastball in there on the inside corner. Strike one. 1-0 Orioles. Bottom half of the 5th inning in downtown Cleveland. Game 3 of a 4-game series. The finale tomorrow afternoon. The 3-1 waved at and missed. Good splitter again from Kramer. And the count is now full. Hoskins getting some time here before he jumps back in. Now he's back in there, and Kramer will let it fly with a full count. Here it comes. Swung on, a slow tapper foul outside of third. Little Ouchies fidgets and sensory tools are made to support self-regulation, designed and manufactured in downtown Cleveland. Little Ouchies squeeze roll relief. Another payoff pitch coming. Here it is. Swung on, line foul deep down the left side, not a play. So we'll do it again on 3-2 to Rhys Hoskins, the designated hitter tonight, with Cal Manzardo at first. Only right-handed bat in the lineup tonight for manager Stephen Vogt. Another payoff pitch from Kramer. He tried to check his swing, and he did on a pitch that was just up high. And there's just the second base runner tonight for the Guardians, both on walks, as Hoskins makes his way down to first. Time for the injury report. It's presented by Elk & Elk. If an auto accident or medical malpractice caused you injury, call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. As Daniel Schneemann steps in, struck out looking first time up. The pitch to him. Swing and a miss. Strike one. For the Guardians, Andrew Walters continuing his rehab assignment at Columbus. It's been going well as he makes his way back from lat surgery last summer. Gabriel Arias Trying to make it back from a hamstring injury, still a ways away. The 0-1, down low, 1-1. Good to see Gabby, though, in the clubhouse. And says it feeling much better, able to do some light running drills in the outfield pregame, so that's a good sign. For the Orioles, we might need extra innings to get to all of their injury issues, both pitching-wise and position players. There are, at one point, 13 players on the injured list. Here's the 1-1. Swung on, line drive, base hit, right field. On his way to second and heading for third is Hoskins. He'll be in without a throw. And Schneemann just reaching out, flicking it into right field for a base hit. Gives the Guardians runners on the corners with only one down. Yeah, Schneemann, a different hitter this year, as again, he came into camp much stronger. And yes, does that help with power? Of course. But he says it's also helped him on the balls that he doesn't quite square up. He's still strong enough to get them into the outfield, and that's exactly what he did right there. And now Bo Naylor will step in with a chance to do damage. Guardians trailing by a run. Mound meeting. The infielders come in to have a chat with Kramer. Enbridge Gas Ohio wants to remind you, whether you're an individual or a contractor, state law requires that you call 811 before you dig to have those underground utilities marked. It's simple and free. Just dial 811. Naylor lined to second his first time up. Good series in St. Louis in terms of line drives. Here's the pitch to him. And it's on the outside corner for strike one. He's trying to stay with an approach that has given him some good contact, but not hitting in the best of luck. One down, tying run at third. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2 the count. The dreaded splitter again from Kramer, and the bottom just dropping out of it as it gets to home plate. So 0-2 on Naylor, trying to battle now. Down in the count. Left-handed hitter, the pitch to him. Called strike three on the outside corner. Naylor looks skyward. I wonder if he wanted to maybe challenge, but thinks better of it. Heads back to the dugout, a strikeout victim. The fifth recorded by Kramer. And now the number 9 hitter, Brian Rocchio, will step in. He flied to fairly deep right his first time up in the third inning. Kramer has allowed just the one hit, the hit to Schneemann here in the fifth, and broke up his no-hit bid. And now he faces Rocchio with Hoskins at third, Schneemann at first. 2 down in the inning. Kramer from the stretch. Here's his pitch. On the inside corner, strike one.
You know, Rosie, here's where these borderline calls you can't challenge because of the challenge earlier this inning. You're too concerned to take another chance.
Here's the 0-1. Down low, 1-1.
I'm sure Bo Naylor would like to have challenged that strike three. You pointed it out. That was a great point. You don't want to be challenging on the first pitch of an at-bat.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting, Craig Albernez talking about the emotion that comes into it. You know, you have that pride as a hitter. That can't be a strike. And you got to put that aside if possible. It's obviously easier said than done. The 1-1, high and away, 2-1.
And I think, Rosie, it's the younger players that are quick to go to it, where the veteran is like, okay, been here, done that, deep breath, don't overreact.
Now the 2-1 to Rocchio. Swing and a miss. Out front of, you guessed it, a splitter.
I really think when you watch him throw that pitch, that looks more like the old forkball. You know, it's an off-speed, pitch, he's really got the fingers split apart with the ball jammed in between them.
Here's his 2-2. Swung on and launched. High in the air to right. Does it have enough? It's way back. Home run! Brian Rocchio has turned this game around. A 3-run shot. Guardians in front 3-1. Tonight you're just not sure the way the ball's carrying, but that one made it.
Well, I tell you, he has given this ball club some big-time jolts throughout this season at the bottom of the order. I mean, 11 RBIs from your number 9 hitter.
Top of the lineup now, Stephen Kwan steps in. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball down. That's where sometimes you look at batting average and it doesn't nearly tell the whole story because Rocchio's hits have come at great times. Here's the 1-0. Down low, 2-0. Here go the Guardians again, scoring with 2 outs.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Half their runs this year.
And they're finally getting some home runs now, Rosie, with men on base.
2 men on and 2 outs this time around for Rocchio. The 2-0. On the inside corner for a strike. 2-1. The Guardians in front for the first time tonight now. 3-1. Kramer had not allowed a hit until this inning. Now the 2-1. Kwan lines it foul out of play, third base. And don't forget, for every Guardians home run this season, Davey Trees, Swing for the Trees program, is committed to planting a tree in Northeast Ohio. Another home run thanks to Brian Rocchio. Another tree planted by Davey Tree. Here's the 2-2. Down low, ball 3. I feel like there have been some good at-bats tonight by Guardians hitters. And it might have only been a matter of time before they could break through against Kramer. And Rocchio has done just that here in the 5th. The payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Side retired, but Cleveland grabs the lead on the 3-run homer by Rocchio. We head to the 6th. 3-1. Guardians over the Orioles.
Five innings in the books, each team with a home run. 3-1 Cleveland. Pete Alonso waves at the Gavin Williams offering, strike 1. Hi again, everybody. Tom Hamilton back with you. Jim Rosenhaus, Brian Motze, a rainy, bone-chilling night on the lakefront. The pitch, and it's in there, a called strike on another great slider. The slider and curveball for Gavin Williams tonight have been phenomenal. My goodness. Now the 0-2. Swung on, hammered foul off the netting down the left side. And Alonso, who has struck out twice, down in the count 0-2. Boy, the Birds had second and third, one out in the third when Alonso struck out, and so did Beavers. The pitch. Swing and a miss on another slider. Williams has struck out 9. 3 times he's gotten Pete Alonso. Dylan Beavers to the plate. He's whiffed twice. So Gavin Williams had 10 strikeouts in L.A. against the Dodgers on April 1st. 9 tonight here in the 6th inning. Currently at 81 pitches. Now the windup, now the pitch. Down low, ball 1. Leody Taveras with a solo homer to right in the 4th. That's the Orioles' run. And in the 5th, Brian Rocchio, a 2-out, 3-run homer to right. The pitch, and it's in there, a called strike on a curveball. My goodness. This Oriole ball club, the advance report must have been, use your breaking balls. Curveballs, sliders, the pitch, swing and a foul off to the left. And then he's got that giddy up to go upper 90s with a fastball. Gavin Williams tonight has thrown 36% of his pitches sliders, 29% curves. The pitch in tight with a fastball. You imagine what that makes that fastball look like? That means 75% of Gavin Williams' pitches tonight have been curves and sliders. Now the 2-2. Swing and a foul down the left side. Fastball. He has thrown one cut fastball. So it's been primarily a 3-pitch mix for Gavin Williams. Now the windup. Now the 2-2 to Dylan Beavers. Swing and a ground ball to first. Gobbled up by Manzardo. He'll make the play himself. Slider took care of Beavers. 2 down. Here's Colton Cowser. He has struck out twice. Hey, you look at the Mets' middle of the order. Alonso, Beavers, and Cowser. They are 0 for 8 between them with 6 strikeouts. Make that 7 strikeouts. 7 strikeouts, 0 for 8 for 3, 4, and 5 hitters. 3-1 Cleveland. The pitch waved at a heater. I'll tell you what, folks, when you watch Gavin Williams and he looks like this, you can't help but think Cleveland's got themselves another Cy Young winner. The 0-1. Inside corner strike with a fastball. 0-2. Then you think of the way Parker Messick is pitching. Nobody's pitched better in the American League. And now the way Tanner Bibby's coming around. My goodness. Now the kick in the 0-2. Little bit high. Cleveland started for the dugout in unison. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Then tomorrow you've got Joey Cantillo going. Oh yeah, 2.61 is his ERA. Now the 1-2. Swung on a weak bouncer, foul, right side. We'll do it again at 1-2. You start getting this kind of consistency in your rotation. This then is how you take off and put together, if not a long winning streak, where you're going and winning 10 out of 12, 15 out of 18. Now the 1-2. Strike 3 called on a backdoor curve. Cowser strikes out for the 3rd time. 2nd time this year. Gavin Williams with 10 strikeouts. And the Guardians with a 3-1 lead in the middle of the 6th.
X is not insurance.
Dean Kramer's made one mistake. 3-1 Cleveland. The pitch to Chase DeLauder, and it's outside a ball. Kramer's been magnificent. 6 strikeouts, 2 walks. He had not given up a hit until the 5th. Now the windup and the pitch to DeLauder, who's lined out, grounded out, and it's down and in, 2-0. Well, the old Guardian 6-packs are on sale. Great matchups, Yankees, Mets, Tigers. Get them at CLEGuardians.com. The kick and the pitch, and it's swung on, popped up foul. This may stay in the yard near the Cleveland dugout. In the coaching box at third is Kobe Mayo, and the third baseman retires DeLauder for out number 1. Here's Jose Ramirez, has walked and grounded out. Earlier today, the Mets lost their 10th consecutive game. The Mets lost again today to the Cubs 4-2. The Mets are 7-14. They were 7-4 before the 10-game losing streak. Now the wind and the pitch to Ramirez, and it's inside corner strike. Only 4 teams in the history of baseball have had a 10-game losing streak and made the playoffs, and Cleveland did it last year. They were the 4th team to lose 10 in a row and make the playoffs. The pitch, ripped to first, on his knees. What a stab by Alonso. Gets up with the overhand throw to the pitcher. Kramer covering for out number 2. Pete Alonso, who's never been noted as a great first baseman, has been sensational in this series, and he took at least a double away from Jose Ramirez. Out number 2 here in the 6th, and here's Kyle Manzardo. The Detroit Tigers were 4-1 winners over Boston today. Milwaukee stops Miami 5-2. The Brewers have now won 4 in a row. Sacramento a 7-6 win over the White Sox in 11. Giants in 12 beat Washington 7-6. Here's Kyle Manzardo, the pitch, and it's in there, a strike. 5-4, the Reds come from behind to beat Minnesota. The Yankees walloped Kansas City 13-4. The Royals are 7-14. They have lost 6 in a row. The pitch, down in the dirt, 1 ball, 1 strike. Everything else is still going on. We don't have enough time to get through all of the scores. But those were the finals, and those were brought to you by your Northeast Ohio Ford dealers. The pitch, swing and a foul right side, and the count 1-2. Well, you wonder, Rosie, how much do the Mets miss a guy like Pete Alonso in that clubhouse during tough times like this, to say nothing about having him at the plate?
And you can only go by what you see here. They love him both, and he's not really hot yet at the plate, but they love him in that clubhouse and what he has done for some of those younger players.
Now the 1-2 pitch. High and wide, 2-2. Look, David Stearns has forgotten more about the game than I'll ever know. But did they do too much to change the chemistry of that club? I don't know.
You wonder, and it changed how they go about it. They wanted better defense.
The 2-2. Outside, full count.
But at what expense of your offense did you do that? And right now, offense has been a major issue for the Mets.
Well,
and look, it's early.
That's why, folks, here in Cleveland, you know how lucky you are to have an owner like Paul Dolan, and then a front office headed by Chris Antonetti and Mike Chernoff and Matt Foreman. Now the payoff pitch. Got him swinging as he chased the splitter down and in. 7 strikeouts for Kramer as he gets Manzardo. 6 in the books. 3-1 Cleveland. Cleveland Clinic Radio. We go now to the 7th inning. And this ball game, 3-1 Cleveland. And leading it off for the Baltimore Orioles, Leody Taveras, 0-1 the count. He's walked, hit a solo homer to right. 90 pitches for Gavin Williams. He fires the pitch inside, a ball. 1-1 the count. Williams has struck out 10, has walked a batter. Leody Taveras hit the solo homer to right. The pitch. And it's swung out, ground ball towards second. Diving into right, Schneemann. Up throwing, got it. Well, I tell you what, folks. You keep hearing it from the manager, Stephen Vogt, talking about Daniel Schneemann, the best athlete on this Cleveland club. And every night he's playing a different position. And every night it's a highlight play from Daniel Schneemann. Yeah, a lot of guys can play a lot of positions, but they don't play him with the proficiency of Daniel Schneemann. That pitch down and in, ball 1 to Sam Basayo. Gavin Williams now with 10 strikeouts tonight. The pitch, check swing, he went around, and the count 1-1. Gavin had a dozen strikeouts last September against Detroit. 12 has been his career high. He has 10. But more importantly, he leads 3-1 in the 7th. The pitch. Waved at, the count 1-2. That was a beauty of a slider. But as we saw last night, and really the night before in the 9th inning, Baltimore's at its best when you put the kids to bed. 7th, 8th, and 9th innings, that's when the Orioles come out to play, and man, they have been tough in the late innings. Here's the windup and the 1-2 pitch to Basayo, and he bangs one foul right side, still a 1-2 count. And Gavin Williams at 98 pitches, he will not get pushed much further. But boy, does he look strong again. The pitch. Check, strike! 3 called on a backdoor slider. Basayo doesn't challenge, but he also doesn't think that Mark Wagner has been using the vision plan available to the umpires. Whatever he said, I'm guaranteeing you he didn't say it in English, or he might have been thrown out of here. 2 down. Here's Kobe Mayo taking a strike. I'm a little surprised they're not challenging some of these calls, Rosie.
And again, that's a deciding pitch in an at-bat, so it makes sense.
Mayo, 2 ground outs, the pitch, and he bangs one for the 3rd time to third. Ramirez gloves, throws, got him! Another terrific inning. A 12-pitch inning for Gavin Williams. He has made 102 pitches through 7. He has struck out 11, one shy of his career best. And it's stretch time at the corner of Carnegie and Ontario. It is Cleveland 3 and Baltimore 1.
Offer a combo meal.
Ten-second station ID on the Cleveland Clinic Radio Network. Albert Suarez, the right-handed reliever, delivering and taking down and in. George Valera, ball one. It's the bottom of the seventh inning, and Cleveland's got a 3-1 lead. Heck of an outing by Dean Kramer. He made one mistake. It may be fatal. Suarez, the right-hander, delivering. Valera taking, and it's high, ball two, 2-0. Dean Kramer did not give up a hit until the fifth. He only gave up 2 hits that inning, but one was the 2-out, 3-run homer to right by Brian Rocchio. Now the kick and the pitch. Valera pops one up. Coming down the first base line, foul ground is Pete Alonso to retire George Valera, 1 down. But boy, was Dean Kramer impressive tonight. 95 pitches in 6 innings, gave up 3 runs on 2 hits. He struck out 7, and that devastating split. Walked 2. Now Albert Suarez, 4th outing, 5.14 ERA. He does have a save. Suarez facing Rhys Hoskins, and he gets it in there for a called strike. Man, it's getting colder by the minute. The right-hander into the wind. Here it comes. And he missed low, 1-1. Suarez is a big man. 36 years of age. 6'3", 235. He'll throw the fastball, the cut fastball, curveball, changeup, the pitch. Swung on, fouled out of play to the right, and a 1-2 count. The wrap-up tomorrow, Joey Cantillo, who's been tremendous, goes against Trevor Rogers, an outstanding left-hander in his own right. 140 the first pitch tomorrow. Bring your thermal long johns. Now the 1-2. Down in the dirt, ball 2, 2-2. Hey, when you've got rust to bust, use PB Blaster. It is a Cleveland original. Since 1957, PB Blaster, always working like a pro. Suarez, the wind and the pitch. In the dirt, full count. Well, Cleveland had one swing of the bat last night. Grand slam by Daniel Schneemann. So Cleveland not doing a whole lot offensively this weekend against Baltimore pitching. The pitch. Swung out, a tapper to third. It kicks foul. You look at this series, and Cleveland won on Thursday, 4-2. Scored 4 last night, and have 3 tonight. Rhys Hoskins has struck out and walked. 1 out, nobody on, 7th inning. Cleveland with a 3-1 advantage. The kick and delivery. Swung on, foul to the upper deck, first base side. Will do it again. Wind is really picked up, howling out toward right field. That cold front is moving in. We'll get you a station ID here momentarily. Now Brian Montse says, nah, we don't have to. Done enough of them. Thank you, Brian. Took a while to get you to come around, but 35 years. Brian is still giddy from the Cavaliers' thumping of Toronto. Why not? Heck of a win for the Cavs. Now the payoff. Swung on, drilled to short, staggered Henderson as he made the catch. Almost knocked him back on his back. 2 down. Here's Daniel Schneemann. Schneemann 1 for 2 with a single. Two down, nobody on. Cleveland with a 3-1 lead. Crazy game. That pitch down and in. Cleveland had a base runner in the first on a walk. Otherwise, 3 up, 3 down. Second inning, third inning, fourth inning, sixth inning, maybe here in the seventh. But the Brian Rocchio 3-run homers still the difference. Down the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Good changeup away. And the count 1-1.
Ingersoll 20,783. 20783.
Suarez dealing, and the pitch wide, 2-1. Tonight's attendance, well, let's call it tickets sold. The pitch, swing and a miss, 2-2. 20,783. Not that many here. Can't blame them. It is not fun sitting here tonight in this weather. 2-2. Strike 3 called, looking on the outside corner. 8th is next. Cleveland 3, Baltimore 1. This is the Cleveland Clinic radio. Angel Martinez takes over in left. Hunter Gaddis takes over on the bump. And a brilliant effort by Gavin Williams, who's again proving that he's as good as any pitcher in baseball. Gavin Williams goes 7 innings. Gavin Williams gives up 1 run on 3 hits. Williams struck out 11, second most in his career. Walked 1. Hunter Gaddis to Jeremiah Jackson, and he swings through it, strike 1. Gavin Williams has now made 5 starts this year. His earned run average, 2.12. The pitch. Down in the dirt, 1-1. Gavin Williams has also now struck out 40 in 29 innings. Hunter Gaddis worked in last night's game, and he was overmatching Baltimore. Struck out the side with just a wicked slider all night. The big right-hander's pitch to Jackson, waved at. There it was again. Well, you can see now he's not only healthy, but he's sharp. And this is the first time we've seen Hunter Gaddis work back-to-back games. Missed first couple of weeks of the season after the sore forearm popped up in Goodyear. Now the 1-2 to Jackson. Wow. Just a touch low. Ball 2, strike 2. Well, the Orioles came to life Thursday night, broke up the no-hitter, and rallied in the 9th. Last night, 6 runs in the 8th. The pitch, down in the dirt, full count. And last night, the 8th inning rally all started with 2 walks and a hit batter. Now the payoff pitch to the number 9 hitter. Swing and a foul out of play. Good at bat. Boy, this Jeremiah Jackson's impressive for a kid that bounced around the way he did in the minor leagues and just never gave up. And 7 years of toiling down below, and he's been a revelation for Baltimore this season. The pitch to him, and he hits a tapper toward third. It's foul. So the count stays full. Pick up the Cleveland Guardians Dollar Bank debit card and score exclusive perks. You can get savings at the team shop and the MLB shop. Visit dollar.bank/baseball for details. Speaking of MLB, good to see one of the top executives of MLB television here in Cleveland this week. Mike Santini, one of the great TV executives of all time. Now the payoff pitch to Jackson. Swing and a miss on a wicked slider. So Gaddis strikes out Jackson, top of the order. Man, Mike Santini has had so many critically important roles in televising Major League Baseball down through the years for the network. And now with Major League Baseball, as they're putting together this television package. Here's Gunnar Henderson taking low and away, ball 1. He's 1 for 3, a single. The Orioles leadoff hitter. Mike Santini, a New York native and a Mets fan. A little somber tonight in the booth. The pitch, and it's in there, called strike 1-1. I don't know, Rosie, you grew up there outside of the Big Apple. What's worse, when the Yankees lose or Mets lose, as far as how people react? There's Gavin Williams' pitch to Henderson. Is fouled at the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You know, I think for Mets fans, they've lost a lot.
Yeah.
And so they're almost resigned to something goofy happening or just struggling to put together a consistent winner. So I don't know. I think for them it's tough.
Now the 1-2 pitch. Down low, 2-2.
I think Yankee fans just assume at some point they'll be good again, and they don't really worry about it too much.
Well, they haven't won it all, though, since what, 09?
Oh, it's a crisis, I'm sure.
Yeah. Now the 2-2 to Gunnar Henderson. And he fouls it off. Third base side, sweet level. We'll do it again at 2-2. Cleveland with a 3-1 lead, 8th inning. Beautiful sunset over Lake Erie. Red skied night, sailor's delight. Except there's ice all over Lake Erie. Now the 2-2. Swung on, hit high and deep to right. DeLauder's at the wall, and all he can do is watch it fly out of here. Gunnar Henderson, a towering home run to right. It is no accident that the 3 home runs hit tonight have been basically to straightaway right, because you're protected there if you're a hitter by the 3 decks. And Gunnar Henderson now with 7 home runs, and it's a 1-run game. 3-2 Cleveland, 1 down in the 8th. Well, I've said it before. Here's Taylor Ward. Righty-righty matchup. And the pitch. Foul back, strike one. Man, if you were starting a ball club and you had to pick a shortstop, who do you pick? Gunnar Henderson, Bobby Witt Jr.? Man, those are two of the absolute great talents in our game. Now the 0-1 pitch. Way outside, a ball, 1-1. Cleveland, 3 runs on just 2 hits. Baltimore, 2 runs, 4 hits. We're in the 8th. Taylor Ward, 1 for 3, a double. The pitch in there. Ward still doesn't have a home run. That is hard to fathom. 25 home runs in 2024, 36 last year. Now the 1-2. Low ball 2-2. Boy, the one thing we're not seeing from Hunter Gaddis, and again, you got to remember that Hunter Gaddis is in just his 3rd outing. We're not seeing any changeups. Now the 2-2. Swing and a foul at the plate. Another slider. We'll do it again at 2-2. Pete Alonso waits on deck. Well, this is going to be some kind of lineup when Baltimore gets the other pieces back, like Adley Rutschman, Jackson Holliday, Jordan Westburg. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on a ground ball, weakly hit to short. Rocchio looks it into the glove. Airmails a 1-hopper to first that Manzardo caught on the bounce. I have no idea what that was about. But a lollipop throw to first from Rocchio. Whether he didn't have a grip, I don't know. But Cleveland's lucky they got the out. And here's Pete Alonso with 2 down. He has struck out 3 times tonight. That was against Gavin Williams. The pitch. And it's a front door slider for strike 1. And boy, he has seen a lot of sliders tonight from Gavin Williams and now Hunter Gaddis. 2 down, 8th inning. Bases empty, 3-2 Cleveland. The set, the 0-1. Waved out a slider in the other batter's box. 0-2. Well, I don't know that we have seen Pete Alonso ever look so almost discombobulated at the plate. It's almost like he's not picking up spin at all. The 0-2 pitch to Alonso. Down and away. I think until proven otherwise, you're not going to throw this guy a fastball unless you throw him one up and out of the zone to get him to chase. Otherwise, you got to keep going at him with sliders down and away, you would think. Hunter Gaddis is ready. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got a fastball by him, but it was up around his chin. Great job by Gaddis after the homer by Henderson. 3-2 Cleveland in the middle of the 8th.
Camps.
Second inning of work for Albert Suarez, the right-hander. Cleveland 3, Baltimore 2. Bo Naylor fouling it back, strike one. Naylor's lined out, struck out. Ryan Rocchio's 3-run homer to right in the fifth. That's Cleveland's offense tonight. One other hit, a Daniel Schneemann single. The pitch, outside, a ball missed with a changeup. Cade Smith in the ninth inning will face Beavers' Causer Tavares. Now the kick and the 1-1. Swung at and belted. Deep right. Down the line. Gone. Bo Naylor hits his first. And a mammoth insurance run for Cleveland. 4 home runs tonight. All down the line or to straightaway right. And it's 4-2 Cleveland here in the ninth inning. Guardians get their third hit. 2 have become souvenirs. And maybe that's the kind of ball that gets Bo Naylor going. Here's Brian Rocchio. His 2-out, 3-run home run to right back in the fifth had been the offense prior to Bo Naylor. The kick and delivery. Swing and a foul upstairs, strike one. Albert Suarez is ready. Here it comes. And he missed down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch, foul tipped into the catcher's mitt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Suarez doesn't waste a lot of time. He rocks and fires. And the pitch swung on, line to left. Ward coming in, makes the chin high catch. Rocchio lines out the other way. 1 down, top of the order, and Stephen Kwan 0 for 3 tonight with a rarity, 2 strikeouts. 4-2 Cleveland. 1 out, 8th inning. The pitch, outside, a ball. 1:40 the first pitch time tomorrow. Joey Cantillo has been outstanding to this point for Cleveland. Fellow lefty Trevor Rogers for the Birds. There's a called strike on a fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike on Kwan. The next delivery, outside, ball 2, 2-1. Suarez firing, Kwan taking. It's down low, 3 balls and a strike. Here it comes. Kwan with a weak bouncer to Pete Alonso. Backhanded swoop at first. Flips to the pitcher covering. 2 down. Here's Chase DeLauder 0 for 3 tonight. And now 1 hit in his last 18 at-bats. I would assume tomorrow he'll get a day off. With the lefty on the mound. Let him catch his breath a little bit. Suarez rocks and delivers. DeLauder taking, it's in there. Strike 1 on the fastball. 4-2 Cleveland. 2 down, bases empty, bottom of the 8th. Now the windup. And the pitch down and in. Moves the feet of DeLauder. 1-1 the count. Now the pitch, he cuts and misses. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Suarez lets it fly, and he just missed. Changeup outside. He thought he had the corner. He started for the dugout. These teams hanging onto their challenges now like it's the last dollar at bar time. The 2-2. Swing and another lazy fly out to left. Kind of had him lunging on that front foot. Ward in shallow left retires DeLauder, but a big home run by Bo Naylor puts Cleveland on top 4-2. Ninth is next. The Cleveland Clinic Radio Network. Right-hander Cade Smith, who nailed it down on Thursday night for his 4th save. Cade Smith will work the 9th. He'll face the middle of the order, Beavers, Cowser, Leote, Tavares. Cleveland with a 4-2 lead. Smith fastball, slider split. 4 for 6 in save opportunities, 2-0, ERA 4.5. First pitch pounds the outside corner, called strike at 96 miles per hour. 4-2 Cleveland. Now the pitch down low, 1-1. Another sensational effort by Gavin Williams, who went 7 innings, gave up a run on 3 hits, struck out 11. Hunter Gaddis gave up a run in 1 inning with 2 punch-outs. The pitch, swing and a miss. Fastball right by him. Smith from the set, hands chest high, lets it fly, and the pitch fouled back. Still a 1-2 count. Pete Alonso struck out 4 times tonight for the Birds. The pitch, swing and a miss. Dylan Beavers just struck out for the 3rd time. And the guy coming up, Colton Cowser, has struck out 3 times. That is 10 strikeouts for your 3, 4, and 5 hitters. 1 down. Cade Smith firing. Pitch a little in tight, ball 1. Cleveland would like to have a drama-free 9th inning. And a short inning, Rosie, so you have Cade Smith available tomorrow.
A little 1-2-3 action.
The pitch, check swing, strike call, evens the count, because tomorrow's a quick turnaround when you think about playing at 140.
They're getting that great starting pitching and kind of waiting for the bullpen to sort itself out a little bit.
You think of this series, the pitch, swing and a foul out of play. Tanner Bybee, 6 shutout last night. Parker Messick, 8 innings of no hit Thursday. Gavin Williams, 7 innings tonight. So your starters have done their part in the first 3 games. The 1-2. Got him swinging on a wicked split finger. This might be the best splitter we've seen from Cade Smith this year. Back-to-back strikeouts on the splitter. 2 down for Leody Taveras. Cleveland 4, Baltimore 2. 9th inning. Taveras 1 for 2, a solo homer to right. The pitch leans him back, ball 1. When you think of Cleveland's 3 starters now, they've averaged 7 innings to start this weekend. Boy, that's how you keep your bullpen fresh. Now the set. Now the 1-0. Swing and a miss. Good split. 1 ball, 1 strike on Taveras. Boy, if that split comes around, now they can't sit dead red. Here's the 1-1. High and wide, ball 2, 2-1. Birds down to their last out. 4-2 Cleveland in the 9th. Cade Smith is ready. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. 97 miles per hour. 2-2, 2 outs on Taveras. And they're on their feet at the corner of Carnegie in Ontario. Cleveland 4, Baltimore 2. Smith ready. Fires. Swing and a pop foul into the home plate seats. We'll do it again at 2-2. Boy, Smith is just pounding the strike zone. You could argue this is the best we've seen Cade Smith here in 2026. Now the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Ball game. Cade Smith with a 1-2-3 ninth. He strikes out the side. And Cleveland pitchers tonight struck out 16 Orioles. And the Guardians win it 4-2.
Network.
Well, we're back here in a chilly downtown Cleveland, but doesn't feel that bad when you win it 4-2 like the Guardians did tonight. Big 3-run home run from Brian Rocchio, a solo shot from
1-1 delivery. And he swings and hits a high fly ball to right, carrying. It's back toward the wall. It is going to be gone off the top of the wall. Dalton Rushing with his 5th home run of the season. And it's 3-1.
And I was just talking about the breaking ball and how he has been able to handle it. What was the pitch? It was a breaking ball. And Daniels Jewelers, again, proud sponsor of the trip around the diamond. So visit DanielsJewelers.com/baseball for a free baseball bracelet along with $50 off a $99 coupon.
371 feet off the bat of Dalton Rushing, who continues crushing. He gets his opportunities now. He's making the most of them. Pitch now to Alex Freeland, switch hitter batting left. He takes a strike.
The reason I brought up on the breaking ball is interested to see the numbers too. Is that, you know, when you're not playing every day, you don't get into the flow of things, and most hitters will tell you it's more difficult to adjust to the breaking stuff and off-speed stuff than it is that heater.
1-1 pitch to Freeland. Lets it go low, 2-1.
You can get in the batting cage and see fastball after fastball after fastball, either someone throwing it or you can put it in the machine. It's difficult to really work on an off-speed pitch.
2-1 delivery. There's an off-speed pitch, curveball. It's foul.